A large and timid partridge like pheasant of high to mid-altitude forests. Males have a silver-plumed body, maroon breast stripe, white neck patch, and dark greenish-black head topped with a long crest that, when erect, gives it the profile of a startled rabbit. Females are streaky brown with a faded version of the male's white patch and breast stripe. Note her short crest, buffy eyebrow, white throat bordered by dark Among the largest birds in North America, the large-bodied, long-legged and small-headed look of a turkey is distinctive. Appears dark from a distance, often seen in small groups in open fields near woods, gobbling often audible in the spring and early summer. Large, distinctive, spectacular gambird of tropical forest, brushy fields, and adjacent clearings, rarely seen away from protected areas, where can be common and tame. Note orange head, warts, copper-colored wing panel, and iridescent blue and gold ice-bits, ocelli, on rump and tail tip, often in groups, feeds on the ground, but roosts in trees. Beware, domestic turkeys are common in the range of oscillated, but are usually around people. Well-camouflaged chicken-like bird. Intricately patterned plumage varies from cold gray to rich reddish brown. Look for relatively long, squared tail with dark band near the tip, bold barring on the sides, and small pointed crest, typically shy and difficult to see well, often flushed from the forest floor, exploding into the air with a startling burst of wingbeats and then gliding down towards the next hiding place. Sometimes ventures onto roadsides to pick up grit. In spring, males beat their wings to produce a distinctive low-pitched drumming sound, widespread and locally fairly common across northern North America, from the Appalachians to Alaska, especially fond of forested areas with dense understory and secondary growth. Distinctive small grouse of dense coniferous forest, preferably with spruces, usually very difficult to see, spends most of its time on the ground, but flushes with a distinctive wing whir, and may land high in trees. Males have a dark throat and dark tail tip, while females have a speckled white throat and shorter crest. Song of the male is surprisingly high and thin, recalling a gold crest. A stout, crested terrestrial bird of mountainous woodlands, and the only grouse in its range. Brown overall, with densely patterned belly. Male has white-lined black throat, female a plain brown throat. Forages on the ground and in trees, eating buds and flowers from the lower and middle layers of trees, especially in spring. Well camouflaged and shy, often flushing explosively from thick undergrowth at close range. Large turkey-like bird found in extensive areas of sagebrush. Both sexes gray overall with very fine patterning, black belly, and long pointed tail. Males have a white breast and a black throat. Spectacular male display involves fanning tail, inflating yellow air sacs on chest, and thrusting them forward to produce liquid, popping noises. Most easily seen at display sites in early spring. Can be very inconspicuous at other times of year. Population in severe decline due to habitat destruction. Extremely similar to the much rarer and more local Gunnison sage grouse, but greater is larger and no range overlap. Also note darker tail and shorter wispier head plumes on greater when displaying. Large turkey-like bird found in extensive areas of sagebrush. Both sexes gray overall with very fine patterning, black belly, and long pointed tail. Males have a white breast and a black throat. Spectacular male display involves fanning tail, inflating yellow air sacs on chest, and thrusting them forward to produce liquidy, popping noises. Extremely similar to more widespread greater sage grouse, but smaller and no range overlap. Also note lighter tail and longer head plumes on Gunnison when displaying. Most easily seen at display sites in early spring. Can be very inconspicuous at other times of year. Tends to forage in wet riparian areas near sagebrush. Population in decline. Large, dark chicken-like bird found in wooded habitats, usually with conifers and shrubby undergrowth. Typically seen on the ground, easiest to see in midsummer, when females and chicks frequent roadsides and trails. When male displays, ruffles neck feathers to reveal wrinkled purple-red skin, and makes deep hooting noise. Female browner and more intricately patterned. Note large size and relatively long tail. Feeds on plant matter, especially conifer needles. Separate from sooty grouse by range. Large, dark chicken-like bird found in wooded habitats, usually with conifers and shrubby undergrowth. Typically seen on the ground, easiest to detect in midsummer, when females and chicks frequent roadsides and trails. When male displays, ruffles neck feathers to reveal wrinkled yellow skin, and makes deep hooting noise, slightly higher pitched than dusky. Female browner and more intricately patterned. Note large size and relatively long tail. Feeds on plant matter, especially conifer needles. Separate from dusky grouse by range. Pale grayish-brown chicken-like bird, found in open spaces with mix of grasses and shrubs, often on the ground or perched high in trees. Look for whitish tail with pointed tip, slight crest, wings spotted with white, and sparsely marked pale belly. In early spring, males gather at display site and dance to attract females. Look for tail cocked up, wings held out, and purple patch of exposed skin on neck. Sexes alike, most similar to prairie chickens, but note paler belly and pointed tail. Plump, chicken-like bird found in grasslands. Body and wings entirely barred brown with pallor buffy throat. In spring, males gather at display site and dance to attract females. Look for them hunched over with ear-like feathers protruding from the head and yellowish-orange skin exposed on the neck. Inconspicuous and difficult to find away from display sites. Separate from lesser prairie chicken by range. Average is slightly darker and larger than lesser. Darker than sharp-tailed grouse with more heavily barred sides and belly. Rounded tail. Plump chicken-like bird found in grasslands. Body and wings entirely barred brown with pallor buffy throat. In spring, males gather at display site and perform dance to attract females. Look for them hunched over with ear-like feathers protruding from a top head and darker reddish-orange skin exposed on the neck. Inconspicuous and difficult to find away from display sites. Very similar to greater prairie chicken but no range overlap. Average is slightly paler and smaller than greater. Plump, chicken-like bird found in tundra with a mix of rocks and mossy ground cover. Plumage changes throughout the year. In winter, both sexes are pure white. As summer progresses, male develops grayish-brown feathers on head, neck, and back, generally quite splotchy. Summer female is pale golden with intricate black and white markings. Both sexes similar to other ptarmigan species, but smaller with distinctive white outer tail feathers. Generally found singly or in pairs in summer, forms small flocks in winter. Feeds mainly on plants. Plump chicken-like bird found in rocky tundra and alpine summits. Plumage changes strikingly throughout the year. In winter, both sexes are pure white with black outer tail feathers. As summer progresses, male develops cold grayish-brown feathers on head, neck, and back, generally quite splotchy looking. Summer female is paler golden brown with intricate black and white markings. Female nearly identical to willow ptarmigan. Look for slightly smaller bill. Summer male willow and rock ptarmigans can be separated by the colder grayish plumage on rock ptarmigan, and in winter by the distinctive black eyeline on rock ptarmigan. Also note habitat differences, best distinguished from white-tailed ptarmigan by black outer tail feathers. Vocalizations include guttural groaning and clucking notes. Plump, chicken-like bird of far northern climes, an adaptable species, residing in open tundra, forest clearings and edges, bogs, moorlands, and willow stands, sometimes even straying into farmland. Plumage changes dramatically throughout the year. In winter, both sexes are pure white with black outer tail feathers. As summer progresses, male develops rich rufous head and neck and brownish back. In winter, lacks black eye line shown by rock ptarmigan. Summer female is paler golden brown with intricate black and white markings. Female nearly identical to rock ptarmigan. Look for slightly thicker bill. In western North America, compare with female white-tailed ptarmigan, which lacks black outer tail feathers, has a colder toned summer plumage, and favors different habitats. Vocalizations include a comical nasal chuckle and various clucking notes. Chunky medium-sized gambird of far eastern Russia. Both sexes are dark brown with white spotted underparts. Male is heftier and thicker necked with a black throat bordered by white. Also note bright red patch of skin above each eye. Female is patchy brown with a more peaked head. Inhabits well-shaded coniferous and mixed forests, where it forages on the ground and in trees. Male gives odd clicks and claps during display. quiet and inconspicuous in coniferous forests, especially where moss covers the ground, typically seen on ground or along roadsides, but can perch fairly high in trees. On male, look for red eyebrow, dark chest, and bold white spotting on sides and belly. Female is browner and more intricately patterned, best distinguished from other grouse by short tail, and strong bars and spots on underparts. Feeds mainly on conifer seeds, often confiding, allowing good views. Franklin's population, found from Idaho to British Columbia, might be a separate species. Tail pattern and male displays differ. Huge gambird of conifer forest, adjacent moorland, and clearings with shrubs, mainly in wilder areas, mostly elusive, but occasional males go rogue and attack hikers. Groups of males display just after dawn in early spring, holding their tail raised and fanned like a turkey. Massive male is blackish overall with long tail, white shoulder spot. Female appreciably smaller than male, told from smaller female black grouse by unbarred rusty breast, and bright rusty tail with black bars. A powerfully built terrestrial bird of remote northern Chinese and Siberian China. Male massive, with glossy black head and chest, white spotted brown wings, and fiery red stripe above the eye. Female smaller, with brown head and neck and black striped body. Male displays with neck stretched upward, and broad black tail tilted up and fanned. Males engage in fierce battles on leks during courtship season. Male distinctive, with long, lyre-shaped tail and white undertail coverts, shows white wing stripe in flight. Female warm brown with heavy dark barring, compared to smaller and ruster willow ptarmigan, known in Great Britain and Ireland as red grouse, which shows a solidly dark tail in flight. In early spring, males gather around dawn to display, fanning their deeply forked tails and fluffing their white undertail coverts, while giving a low churring call. Habitat varies throughout range, but generally favors more open forests and forest margins, as well as upland steppes, heathlands, and moors. In southern parts of range, such as the Alps, favors denser forests with conifer stands. Large gambird endemic to the mountains of the Caucasus region. Male is jet black with a tiny white patch on the shoulder, a tail that curves downwards at the tip, and flaming red eyebrows. White underwing patches are displayed during jumping lecking display. Female is brown with dense barring and spotting, as well as a long but uncurved tail. Both sexes are similar in appearance to black grouse, but ranges do not overlap. Found on grassy slopes at or above the tree line.